You know those scary black box warnings you usually see on heavy-duty prescription drugs? The ones that basically say, pay attention, this stuff could actually kill you? Well, in 2026, those labels are moving out of the pharmacy and into your grocery cart. And once you see what's behind this change, you're never going to look at a box of crackers or a healthy granola bar the same way. If you're new here, my name is Lillie. I'm a certified nutrition health coach. And y'all, we are in the middle of like a total health revolution. It is changing so quickly, I'm having a hard time keeping up over here. But today we are going to cover the 3 massive changes happening right now in the food world. 1, the not recommended for human consumption label, a new labeling law that is honestly making me laugh. I think it's hilarious. But for big food companies, they are furious. They're literally trying to sue to stop it. Secondly, we'll cover the global magnifying glass, why Canada and the US are putting little magnifying glasses on your food. And lastly, we'll cover the secret cleanup and lawsuits, how big food is fighting to keep you in the dark, meanwhile changing their product recipes. So whether you're a label reader or someone who just wants to be able to buy their food without needing a chemistry degree, well, these 3 changes affect everyone walking into the grocery store today. And my goal is to help keep you guys informed with all of the changes in our food supply and how to live your healthiest lives. And if you appreciate this kind of content, then don't be silly, subscribe to Lillie, and let's jump in. The first big change is the not recommended for human consumption label. In 2025, Governor Abbott signed Senate Bill 25, the Make Texas Healthy Again Act. Now, if you don't live in Texas, you might be thinking, okay, so what does Texas have to do with me? I live in Missouri or someone lives in California. But the thing is, this law is changing how big food labels their food. And a big food corporation doesn't want to have to change just the way a box and a label is for Texas and then make their boxes all different for other parts of the country. Instead, because Texas has such a massive market, whatever Texas ends up doing, the rest of the country ends up getting the benefits, eh? Thank you, Texas.
Texas could change the way Americans eat snack foods nationwide, requiring a warning label on many popular food and drinks, reading not recommended for human consumption.
That could impact candies like Skittles and M&Ms, chips, including Doritos and Ruffles, and drinks like Gatorade and Mountain Dew.
It's targeting products using ingredients like bleached flour, food dyes, sweeteners, oils, and preservatives. Those are legal and common in many processed foods in the U.S., but some have faced regulation in other countries.
I believe that the rest of the nation will look to Texas and say, they're on to something. And just maybe we can curb the trend of us spending more on healthcare than any other nation in the world.
This law targets 44 specific chemical additives like Red 40, Yellow 5, and titanium dioxide. This law requires a warning label that says, warning, this product contains an ingredient that is not recommended for human consumption by authorities in Australia, Canada, the EU, or the UK. I don't know why I find that so funny. Honestly, I guess it's supposed to be really sad that they would be incorporating ingredients in their products that are naughty. But, I think at this point I gotta just find the humor in it.
Most food dyes are made with synthetic petroleum-based chemicals. They have no nutritional value and are only used to enhance the colors of food. Kellogg's cereals, including Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks, contain Yellow 6, Yellow 5, Red 40, and Blue 1. According to the Cleveland Clinic, Red 40 can lead to hyperactivity, including ADHD, behavioral challenges like irritability and depression, skin irritation, and migraines. The other dyes have been shown to have negative side effects.
If you really think about it, the wording is so particular. It's not like they're saying you have to put a label that says contains artificial food dyes or a label that says low in nutritional value. Instead, it's literally a label that says not recommended for human consumption. This is what we're calling it, the black box of the grocery store. Traditionally, the black box warning was reserved for the most dangerous prescription drugs on the market. But now that same level of seriousness is hitting the food aisles. And sometimes I do wonder if by adding new labels to packages, if it's actually going to change how people shop and what they consume. Are people really going to stop buying things like Fruity Pebbles? I can't help but think that if a mom is reaching for some fruit snacks for her kids and sees this warning label of not recommended for human consumption, I do think it's going to be a psychological game changer. I mean, I know for myself, back when I used to eat more foods that were ultra processed and I was struggling with weight gain, acne, and irregular menstrual cycle, I was eating foods with these 44 ingredients every single day because I thought that if a food was on the shelf, then it was safe. But this law is now putting the truth front and center. You can't miss it. And so I really do hope that these black boxes are going to start changing how people shop and what we consume. That brings us to our second topic, the global magnifying glass front of package movement. As of January 1st, 2026, Canada has now officially flipped what's going on. And now if a food is high in sugar, saturated fat, or sodium, it now has to carry a little magnifying glass on the front.
Cereals, drinks, and other prepackaged foods in Canada's grocery stores will soon have the symbol of this black and white magnifying glass. It signals customers about foods that are high in fat, high in sugar, or high in salt. Food companies have until January 1st to apply the front label. It's an addition to the nutritional value table that's much easier to read.
It's simple, it's visual, and it interprets the data for you. And even though this is happening in Canada, at this point, the MAHA movement and RFK Jr. are finalizing this similar kind of label here in the US. If a food is high in sugar or sodium, it will get a symbol on the front of the package as well. We are finally treating ultra-processed foods with the same caution that we give to pharmaceuticals. One of the biggest targets of these new high sugar or high sodium labels are sports drinks. You know, the ones that are neon blue and are basically sugar water with the side of Red 40. Red 40, the artificial food dye linked to hyperactivity in children and banned in other countries. Yeah, I don't touch any foods, sports drinks, or sodas with artificial food dyes in them. Instead, I use Element Electrolytes, today's video sponsor. I'm very picky about what I put into my body, and with Element, they don't have any of the 44 black box targeted ingredients. They have no Red 40, no titanium dioxide, no synthetic preservatives. Instead, Element is full of sodium, potassium, and magnesium, which has been a total game changer in how hydrated I feel. Having less eye twitching, less cramping, feeling like I'm just more energized, and helps prevent those afternoon brain fogs. And so if you'd like to help support this channel and try a clean way to stay hydrated, you can get 8 free packets of Element's most popular flavors with any order using the link in the video description, drinkelement.com/Lillie Kane. They also offer a money-back guarantee, so if you try it and you don't like it, you can get your money back. My personal favorite flavors are the watermelon, but also I like to put the chocolate salt and the salted caramel salt in my yogurt, and it's super yummy. All right, let's move into the secret cleanup and lawsuits. Unsurprisingly, Big Food is losing its literal mind. They are doing 2 things. First, they are suing. They've filed massive federal lawsuits claiming that by telling you an ingredient is not for human consumption, that's a violation of their free speech.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
They're literally fighting for the right to keep you in the dark. Big Food's argument here is basically, we have the right to put chemicals in your foods without you feeling scared about it. But the MAHA movement, led by RFK Jr. and HHS Secretary Marty Makary, they're saying that the scare is actually just the truth. For decades, these companies put the artificial food dyes and other funky chemicals they're adding to their products in tiny font on the back of their packages. And now the truth is being dragged to the front. And so the second thing that big food companies are doing is they're changing their recipes. Have you noticed lately some of your favorite snacks having the label new recipe or even now made without artificial food dyes?
Introducing Simply Naked, PepsiCo removing the artificial dyes from Cheetos and Doritos, making them totally colorless. The idea here from the company is that they are reinventing some of its most iconic snacks, Doritos and Cheetos, 2 types each, and they're basically removing some of those artificial dyes and flavors.
Yeah, that's not because the these companies care about your health all of a sudden, it's regulatory avoidance. These companies are slowly removing these 44 ingredients from their recipes so that way they don't have to put that scary black box warning label on the front of their package. So in a weird way, it's kind of like those black box labels are already working without being fully implemented.
Kellogg's will stop using the food colorings by 2027. The company told Straight Hour News, "We see the growing focus on health as an opportunity to meet consumer needs in even more meaningful ways." Companies including Kraft Heinz, Hershey, Tyson's, and others have made verbal commitments.
Now, again, not necessarily because Big Food suddenly cares about your health, but either way, it's working and I'll take it as a win. A lot of people don't know that Goldfish crackers are 68 years old. Cool Whip is 60 years old. Doritos chips are 62 years old. The majority of foods in the grocery store now that people think of as normal didn't even exist for our grandparents. And so for the past 70 years, we've been told that these foods, they're totally fine. And now we're finally having some labeling on the package that is telling the truth. 2026 is the year where the food industry finally has to show their cards. Now, whether the FDA actually makes these laws mandatory across the country or whether the big food industries win their lawsuits, it really doesn't matter at this point because the cat is out of the bag and people are now starting to ask, wait, what is this in my food? The black box movement isn't about the government telling you what to eat. It's about restoring the choice that was taken away from us for 70 years. But you know what doesn't get a black box warning label? The ribeye steak, the pasture-raised eggs, the blueberries. While big food corporations are trying to explain why their chemicals are safe for you and your family to consume, real food is just being real food. It's just one ingredient. It doesn't need a label. It has nothing to hide. We don't need to have these magnifying glass and black boxes on real food. Real health is built by stepping outside the system and just getting back to the basics. And if you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to be curious about how AI is impacting our food and the food products being produced. I'll leave that video right here. Don't be silly, subscribe to Lillie, and I hope you have a happy day.